I've had COVID this week, so I've just been chilling at home, not really doing much. But
Mm.
it's I got a bit of a scratchy throat, but my voice has come back, so I'm glad. I'm glad it came
Nice,
back
good,
just
good.
in time for
Hefe,
Saturday.
we have the same symptoms. Mine's just from like going 4 days in New York.
You're going hard.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody's lost their voices, so I don't know how New Futuristic's doing it. That's why he's got the radio voice.
It's like you guys got to see like a regular day in my life with as much as I smoke. Like basically from dusk till dawn, like until the moment I go to sleep, we're pretty much high. So I'm used to that at this point.
Just all the talking and the shouting and over the traffic or the events. It's all everything's like the volume is really loud,
Mhm.
so that's a lot of shilling at high volume. So
That'll, yeah, yeah, that'll run out your voice real quick.
Futuristic's throat must be more, yeah, like a singer's voice. It's able to handle all that smoking and talking.
It's more durable voice
Yeah,
cords.
Well, I'll say like I didn't have the strain that you had because you were up there like Grandpa crypto shilling the soft shill. Like I loved it. What did you called it? Safety farming. That was the reference that you used when you were on stage at NFT NYC on that panel in Palladium with Rich Robinson, the Animoca guy who's like gonna steal our ideas now.
yeah, we had a great. That was the last panel we did, and the guy from Animoca Studios was up there with us, and Dan, you remember Stanley talking about safety farming, right? So
Yeah.
it goes way back. We never really ran with it as like a concept, but internally it definitely was a guiding principle. This idea that Aavegotchi's really help people to save instead of going to degen mode, right? Like they lock up funds in our rare collectible Aavegotchis. So Stanley had always referred to that early on. He's like, "This is a great concept. It's like the opposite of degen. It's safety farming, and instead of yield farming." And so yeah, that came up. I forget exactly why, but we were talking about yield generating NFTs and the benefits of them, and so this whole concept of safety farming seemed like a perfect example. Um, yeah, I don't know about the grandpa part. I hope I don't sound old up there, but
No, no,
Wise,
no, no.
wise in
When I say
nature.
grandpa, I say wise. I think of like I was saying before, like sometimes you don't want to meet your heroes because it can be like a negative experience. But for me, it was the opposite, and that you have this like natural like soft charisma. It's not like I think I'm charismatic, but I'm kind of aggressive. Where you seem like the opposite. You're more of a you have a chill vibe. It's almost like a grandpa. It's not the negative of it. It's more like, oh, I feel like I can listen to this guy talk all day, and I know I can trust and get what he's saying, and it's not going to be anything that's going to lead me the wrong way.
I see. So it was like
Or kind of
yeah,
like a crypto sensei. Crypto sensei would be a better way to say it.
I like that. Yeah, yeah. But basically, I'm in the rocking chair is what I'm picturing, and like yeah,
Yeah, it's like it's a crypto Warren Buffett, but just a little hipper, nicer haircut.
I'll take it. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, we were. I mean, we did chill a lot. We did panels every day, and of course, like I think the difference was we were just trying to, like, use specific Aavegotchi examples because that's good for us, but it's also good for the audience. Like they don't need. Some people would tend to go into for whatever reason, just kind of generic, high level, fancy word like word soup, you know. And it's like, well, just give us something specific so we learn something. That was what we were trying to do there, and yeah, so it was a good time. I think we made a lot of new friends. Definitely have a lot of BD leads too, like potential partnerships and a lot of due diligence to do on them now and figure out who really makes sense. But even one or two really cool things that could come out of this would be worth it. It'd be really exciting. And then yeah, just to echo, no futuristic like Hefe, Anthony, wish you guys had been there. Of course, Coder Dan, and everybody on the call. Like, it was really nice to meet some Gotchi gang in real life. It was super super good. Gotchi Emperor
But yeah,
was where he is today. He was fantastic.
I was having big FOMO seeing those pictures, man.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, shout
100%.
out to Crypto Rich for the awesome pictures, right? He was like the one taking a lot of those, right?
Yeah, I mean between no futuristic and Crypto Rich, the
Mm-hmm.
media coverage. I mean they were both super professional. They just were taking amazing shots and video. And so for the event, I mean, the way No Futuristic was running around and just making sure everything ran smooth with the Discord stream and the audio video, it was amazing. And then Crypto Rich with the secret talent, like he had mentioned before the trip, he's like, yeah, you know, like another skill set I have is I can do professional photography, and he wasn't joking. Like he's got lots of good stuff. I could probably drop a few more here in the weekly Hangout chat in a minute.
We just got this tweet just dropped here, guys.
Oh.
A little bit of bottled FOMO for you.
Bottled
It's
FOMO.
a recap of NFT NYC for Gotchi Gang.
Oh,
Nice video.
That's got content from both Crypto Rich and No Futuristic. Yeah.
Oh, I still haven't sent Thrax the videos I shot yesterday, including your, I guess the Polygon Hub, the hour-long panel you did. So I'll do that after this when I have a chance to get back some footage.
Wow, yeah, that's awesome. So there's gonna be more coming from that, and then I saw that Chainlink. One of the guys at the Chainlink event, the moderator or one of the organizers, said they tweeted something out about it, but said that there's going to be a recap video coming from that as well. So highlights on Chainlink VRF use cases, and that should be a good one too. This video is looking good. I've got it on mute blocking it. I probably need the music, don't I?
I was surprised to see Chico Crypto there, hanging out with the
How
Gotchi
crazy
gang.
was that, right?
Yeah.
It's only like blending in.
I was like, is that Chico Crypto? Dang.
Wait, which one is Chico Crypto? Because I don't even know who that is.
Oh, that's So if you go to YouTube and just type Chico Crypto, you'll follow his channel. He's one of the OG YouTubers who I would say sets himself apart because he does really deep research into whatever the topic is he's covering. Like he'll make some wild claims, but he'll back them up with like a solid theory, and he'll make some really spot on claims that I've just always respected his work. So he puts a lot of time into it. So I was watching one of his videos recently, and I think it was off the cuff in the middle of the video. He was like, yeah, and I'll be in New York next week, blah, 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 check it out. And so I immediately just, went to Twitter and tried to get in somebody's DMs and reach out to him. So tracked him down, and he was a maybe. And then, yeah, same for me. I was going to the bar or something, and then, like, right next to me, I was like, oh, shoot, that's you, Chico. You showed up. Super low pro, just rolled in.
I saw this guy multiple times. I think we even spoke together, but I had no idea who he was. I thought he was just another Gotchi Gang dude, and everybody was so chill. So I was like, yeah, let's smoke. I think. Holy crap, that would be kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was nice. It was good to have him and just everybody. That there were so many surprises. Like Roxiano, I don't know if she's on the call today. It was cool to have her come out. Some of the other ambassadors and Gotchi Gang. I mean, you guys saw the pictures and the tweets there. The list is pretty extensive, and I don't know. I think the highlight for me and the biggest regret was the quiz. Did you guys see in the video? Right, we were doing like this quiz. That was a lot of fun, but I underestimated the audience. I thought we'd have some softballs for +1s and people that were coming to check it out. Holy cow, like everybody was nailing it, like I think at a rate of like 90%. The questions were too easy. So Gotchi Gang, really everybody knew their stuff. So I need to
how fast you could answer, right? That was the big advantage.
Yeah, it's
like
a really cool
question.
If anybody's ever wanting to host a Gotchi Gang in real life meetup, I mean, it wants to use that. It's a subscription based thing, but I went ahead and got it for this because I've seen I went to a Binance meetup like a couple years ago that used it, and it was very effective, like really, really fun. So that time CZ was actually there. CZ handed me a shirt. I got 3rd place. So I never forgot that. I was like, we should do something like that. But the questions were just a little too easy. We should have done like a second round. 101, and that was for taking first place in the quiz. And yeah, I have to say it fits him. I don't know if you're gonna get it back, get it from him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to live vicariously through Sir Linkius now, and that hoodie.
So yeah, you had to be right, and you had to be the fastest. So like the top 10, everybody scored 100%. Like it's all the names you know. Like Diddley Poo was there. Vanilla Delphia. Talk about Gotchi Gang OG. Got to meet Vanilla Delphia, and like everybody scored 100%. It was just Sir Linkiest was the fastest overall. I think there were like 8 questions total or something, and he was on average the fastest one.
Yeah, that merch given out at the very first Aavegotchi Hangout, that's going to be rare, I think.
Yeah, and Zebot
Oh,
did
yeah.
such a nice job with that one design in particular. Like there were about 3-4 designs, that were going out this week, but the one that probably was the best was that Aavegotchi New York like corner.
That was cool.
That one just worked so well. Those went fast. Those were gone by the end of like day one. And they were probably the best ones.
It's either that or the hat, because the hat hits. Like I'm wearing it right now, and I'm like, I love this hat. Like I even when I'm not wearing it, I have it strapped to my bag so that everybody can see it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, the hats are really good. For me personally, it just doesn't work with my head, but but that hat can work well for others for sure.
So, were
Yeah,
there...
I don't.
Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. I was gonna say I don't know if anybody posted pictures, but Goobs has like some custom Air Force Ones that he was rocking with his Gotchi on one side, and on the other side is the Gotchi walking into a portal. It was the dopest thing I've seen.
What? Need photos.
Yeah.
Goobs was awesome, by the way. Shout out to Goobs. I don't know if he's on the call. He might be driving today. He made the trip. But yeah, he was a blast. He held it down, and it was great. Like it was like a volunteer army. I mean, it was Gotchi Gang, but we were just like on a mission every day. We had our plans, and we kind of set it up, executed. But like everybody pulled their weight. Goobs was awesome. He like randomly ended up shilling. Like we'd already broke to go home or something, and for the night, and then Goobs is sending us a photo later. He's shilling BitBoy. Like
Saw
he
that.
runs into BitBoy on the street.
Oh man.
And they stop and talk for like 20 minutes about Aavegotchi. So like he gave him the full shill because he said BitBoy like that he was wearing all the Gotchi gear and he knew like BitBoy recognized Aavegotchi, but he obviously has not been following along. So he was just like, oh, what are they up to or whatever, and Goobs let him know. So he's a legend. Somebody's got that photo. We need to share proof of Goobs hanging out with BitBoy.
You were on all these panels too, you were saying, right? I mean, Chainlink panel was one of them, and then Polygon, there's like a couple others as well. So like you're all over the place, like, meeting other people. I'm sure there's a lot of new connections now that will be at least checking out Aavegotchi.
Yeah. The panels went well. And the one thing that was definitely different for me this time is like if I've gone like when I went to Miami or do conferencing over the years, a lot of times it's just me on my own or with like a partner is like a 2-person thing, and then you go and you work the floor. But in this case, I mean, when we showed up to the Chainlink thing, they were like taken aback because we come rolling up with like 8, 9, 10 people, and they're like, I'm like, yeah, I'm Jesse. I'm gonna be here for the panel, and he's like, who are all these people? I'm like, the Gotchi Gang. He's like, oh my god, you guys really rolled deep. That was like his verbatim word. Just like Gotchi Gangs are like a real thing. It's like no shit. So it
Nice.
made it so much more fun and easy when everybody comes rolling up. It's like, you're gonna learn about Aavegotchi. Like this is your chance. So, the Chainlink one was great. We had a lot of smart, engaged Chainlink people there that were kind of already aware of Aavegotchi and the VRF use case, but this was their chance to like really get to know Aavegotchi and the people behind it. So everybody's having good conversations, and yeah, I don't even want to say shilling, but just like it went really well. It was a good opportunity to share what we're about.
I
I
think
think all the went pretty well actually. Like sometimes those can be done, but we had pretty good moderators. There was always a good audience and decent enough questions. I mean, when you're talking about like it's NFT week, so it's like not even just blockchain. Like we can talk about NFTs all day, right, guys? Like there's so many features we can highlight. So I was telling No Futuristic and everybody like this makes my job really easy if I go on a panel because my only problem is like which example of a solution or possible thing to talk about is there, and so there's just too many good choices if anything. So it worked out really really well.
Yeah, and I'll say like with all the panels I watched you on, like the other panelists tended to move more towards like hype and like lack of substance, where you were like everything you said was of substance, like stuff that wasn't just like vague or just BS straight up just to like draw people's attention. It was more like no, there's like this utility, like I said with the safety farming thing, which I thought was like I was so glad you said that because I've never heard that term before you said it during that panel, and I was like, oh, that's a marketing push right there. It's like crypto is degen, that's what everybody sees, but you're pushing the idea of like the actual substance of Aavegotchi is something more than just like being a degen and freaking walling out with your money and your NFTs.
Yeah, and it takes many forms. There's the depositing the Aave tokens into your Aavegotchi, your spirit force, but there's also like the bonding curve, right? We talked about the bonding curve a lot. And I think on every panel, it became apparent by the second or third one. It was like talking about what really is unique about Aavegotchi and our what we're doing is the DAO, which like Coder Dan just shared a link to the council cartridge vote proposal. And that was a big separator. Like every other panelist was always like kind of on the defense when we start going off about how we were born from a bear market as a DAO and what that means for us. People definitely responded to that and were curious and wanted to learn more about what is a DAO built video game ecosystem. What would that look like? So nobody else, we'd get a lot of comments after or even in the middle of the panels where some other panelists would be like, yeah, well, we want to be a DAO. We're gonna be a DAO. We're definitely looking towards something that involves the community, but it was never. They didn't have a plan. Like we're executing specific strategies and running a DAO for over a year now. So it was a very different type of substance, I guess. So I had a lot of advantages. No Futuristic. It made my job easy.
No, you really did. There was a point I remember where you were talking on the yield bearing, the one with Annie Moko up there, and you said I forgot the exact thing you were saying. You were talking about how Aavegotchi's building this protocol and that how it's open source, and you're like, some of the stuff we're building now, we're hoping that this is going to be like the norm in the industry. So it's like that was powerful because we're up there with Animoco brands, which is such a private, hold closed source kind of situation, and we're like, no, we're innovating here, and this is going to be the industry standard. You might not like it, but you're going to be using some of these innovations in the future, and it, like that's powerful because it also talks to the DAO and the decentralized like ethos that we have here, where it's like, no, we're trying to improve it for everyone. So it's not just us. Some of these innovations, like the Gotchi lending contracts, I can see other projects eventually using that, and that just makes the ecosystem better because we have more trustless interactions, which is always good.
Yeah, yeah. The Animoca, I think his name was Richard. Nice guy. We talked a little bit afterwards, but on stage, yeah, we were talking about sustainability of yield bearing NFTs and what that looks like, and does it play to earn tokens, the reputation for those, and what we're doing differently. And we talked about the circle of win. This, kind of gets into how revenue is shared between the DAO and the Pixelcraft and the rarity farming, right? And all these different parts and how they all interact and support one another. And so I mentioned another coined phrase we use all the time, circle of win. And he loved that. He was like, after we got off stage, he was just like, "Oh my gosh!" He goes, "That's the term we've been looking for what we're trying to do." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, good luck." But yeah, he's like, "We're gonna use that. Circle of win's good." I was like, "Try to keep up. You can use the term if you want. You're gonna have to figure it out though. Should read up how we're doing it." Yeah, Coder Dan, circle of win greater than flywheel. True. So. So yeah, a lot of success in that way, and you can tell if it went well if people are coming up afterwards and like wanting to learn more and connect. So that pretty much always happened. And the Polygon Hub, shout out to the Polygon Studios team. They were very thankful to us and very well organized. I'm thankful to them. They were very well organized and had a beautiful venue. Like it felt like we were inside the Gotchiverse. It was all purples and pinks and psychedelic. It was um, pretty amazing place. Actually, like advocating for awareness of the way plastic damages the planet, things like that. But awesome installation art. So yeah, this is an awesome week. I don't know. I could keep going. There's just like one thing after another.
See, I would like to ask you because in the midst of the party and all the hubbub and me being busy running everything, you guys released some major V2 stuff. And to be honest, like I heard part of it, but I was so in the zone of like tech and like running that stuff that I kind of completely missed most of it. So I would love for you to talk like a brief summary for the Gotchi gang that's here, like what is happening, the new things that are coming to V2 offers, GBM stuff.
Yeah, good point. The V2 announcement was huge, and I think everybody here on the call, if you haven't seen the video, it's up on our Twitter now. Kind of has a brief kind of overview of it. We have a few more videos to drop that focus in on specific features that are coming with V2. So we've got Wirt. Wirt was at the party, and they're also our newest integration. So kind of a competitor to MoonPay. If you guys are familiar with Simplex or MoonPay and these fiat on-ramps, that's really what Wirt does, but they do it in a very unique way. They have some special killer features that attracted us to what they're offering, which is basically in most cases you use the MoonPay or whatever it may be to buy some ERC20 token, right? You want to swipe your credit card and acquire Ghost token. That's cool. That's a good use case. That's where we definitely want that. But there's even like a better, simpler UX where you swipe the credit card, and in their case, they're set up where they hit from an LP or wherever, they got like a pool of some Ghost, and you go straight to the smart contract. So you swipe the credit card and you interact directly with the smart contract, and you can set up all sorts of unique, powerful experiences doing that. So that is a big part of what makes Wirt different and why we're going with them. This could be huge for like casual gotchi lending, right? Just take your debit or credit card and secure X amount of like borrowing offers or something. Go straight into the game, and less worrying about managing your cryptocurrency and things like that. So Wirt was awesome, and that's gonna be a big part of V2. Part of that strategy to expand to a bigger audience and make the whole premise of V2. And Dan could jump in here. Is Dan really advocated for this months ago because you saw the shortcomings of the current like layout in terms of adoption, right? So everything that you'll see in this is like geared towards two types of people, either getting better adoption or giving more power to the power users. So both, like the power user comes away much happier, and so does somebody who's like curious and checking out the platform.
Yeah. One of the pitfalls of the current site right now, the way it's designed, is it really is. It's just not enough of like space to hold all the new features that we've been adding. When we first launched Aavegotchi.com, it was basically a very simple Tamagotchi kind of interface with just a few buttons on it, and then just over time, feature creep, we kept having to add buttons everywhere, and then we had this side menu on the right that was, a lot of people didn't even realize it was there. And so in V2, we'd been experimenting with the idea of putting like a sidebar on the left side that makes everything very, very clear and clean. But it was quite of an overhaul. So we basically redesigned it from the ground up, put a sidebar there that makes everything very clear, kind of a more modern UI, and have definitely, you guys probably filled out the UI feedback form a couple months ago at this point, with Anna and got some XP for it. So we took all that feedback and also have been implementing that as well into the UI. So more bizarre filters, better Gotchi lending experience, just all sorts of things. GBM Bazaar is coming, offers are coming, all the things that we have been wanting for so long. There was a lot of what we call technical debt with the old V1 site, so we just felt it was going to be easier to just completely overhaul it and make a V2, start clean, and make sure that it's really easy to ship new features in the future.
Yeah, and if you check the video, I know some of you are like have zoomed in, paused the frame by frame, and are looking for some alpha in the pictures. But one thing you'll definitely notice is the layout. Now we've realized that sidebar that we kind of added on in the middle of the last uh, dev cycle, what is popular, but now it's kind of like better integrated, I guess. We have a full-time kind of expansion of sidebars, kind of like Discord in a way, I guess you could say. It's like left side, mainframe.
Yeah, it'll feel very familiar. It's familiar and powerful. It'll be a great experience just for getting all the features that are out there more visible to people who aren't like power users of the site. Because a lot of people come on the site right now, they don't even. I bet half of you guys don't even realize there's like a sidebar where you can click on the button on the top right, and there's just like a bunch of icons. A lot of people don't realize that's there, which is crazy. But that's one of the UI issues with the current site, and just a ton of other things. So really gonna be excited to move to the V2. And also we're working on having like a new home screen that will be kind of more customized to you, and you'll be able to customize it as well. So you might have some gotchi notifications, like, or an easy button to pet your gotchis, to know how long it's going to be until your next pet, and might be some bizarre integrations as well, letting you know who's made offers on your items, or if you just got outbid, we'll have notifications for that kind of thing as well. So it's gonna be pretty nice.
Yep. Then the big part, the other big feature is GBM, right? So we all love our bid to earn auctions, and we want to double down on that. Long time coming, so we'll have GBM available for everybody. We can launch our own GBM auctions. It's gonna be nuts. So the
Yeah.
UI is aligned to work with that in a very smooth way.
That's the part that got my attention when I was, like you say, frame by frame, creeping through the video, the launch video. There is the GBM. Is like, so how exactly is that gonna work? Let's say there's an item in the bazaar. People will be able to bid on it, and they'll get a certain percentage back, just like the way we know with our land auctions. Or
Yeah, so with the GBM, it's a custodial auction. So if you want to create an auction for your item, like, the GBM is not the perfect mechanism for everything, because a lot of things have a fairly well-known floor price. So there's really not that much incentive to create a GBM with there'll be slightly additional fees that we need to pay to the GBM team, and things like that. So there's not as much incentive to do a GBM unless you kind of are looking to have price exploration on your item. So for example, they're going to be perfect for like a godlike item that hasn't maybe traded in a couple months, and the seller of it is interested to see what people will want to pay for it. But I don't really think you'll probably see a lot of like common items being done with a GBM. Just, I mean, they might at the beginning just for fun, but there's not that much reason to do it, because the common item, the price of it is already known. So what you'd probably do is, for example, you have a mythical or godlike, or you have like a spacious parcel with boosts on it, and you're just curious to see what the market wants to value it. And so that will be what the GBM is going to be perfect for. So you can basically go and click the create GBM auction button, and then that will transfer the item from your inventory into the GBM contract, because we have to transfer it, because otherwise we can't ensure that the item will still be there at the end of the auction. So it gets transferred over to GBM, and then people will be able to place their bids on it. You'll be able to set a return rate like the DGen or the normal or medium. And then at the end of the auction, there's a couple UI tweaks we had to work out, but basically, if you as the seller are not really happy with the final price of the item, like we don't have a reserve price per se, but if you as the seller aren't really happy with how your item did, you can actually cancel it, but you need to pay back the final incentive to the final bidder. So it might be like a couple percentage points of the total value of what that item reached. So if you think that your item's worth 50,000 ghosts, but the market only bids it at 20,000 ghosts, then you would need to pay back the incentive to the final bidder, which could be maybe it's a couple hundred ghosts. And so that's generally how it's going to work. So again, I don't see the GBM being used for everything, because we're also going to have buy offers, which is also going to be very, very powerful feature. But it definitely will be used for a certain specific type of item, and it's going to be a pretty cool, I think.
You mentioned land, and they got me thinking. Do you see in the future where this GBM offering system gets upgraded to like lots, or like if I have an estate, like I have 4 parcels that are all together, that I could put up a lot for all 4 of them, or like, like say I put up a Gotchi plus all the wearables.
Yeah, actually, we did talk with the GBM team about that. And so basically, how you could do that is, well, we could do it on the back end, but you could choose the different pieces that you want, and we would basically bundle them together for you into like a bundle NFT. And then at the end of the GBM, you would get that bundle NFT, and we would unbundle it for you as the buyer. And so that's how we could theoretically do that. We probably won't have that feature for a while though, but it will be definitely possible to do that.
That'll be dope.
Yeah.
That's gonna be epic because like I'm using Goobs as an example. When I met Goobs, he blew my mind because he parked in front of the hotel and he had a Jaguar and he had driven down from Canada, and he's like, "This is all from flipping gotchi stuff like in the bazaar essentially." So it's like you're creating a whole new role. Like I'm thinking about this, like, oh, I could sit in the bazaar all day, and if I'm tactical, GBM for that little incentive, or like see the opportunities in the market and try to pick up stuff at a discount if the buyers want to sell. I mean, the sellers want to sell.
You're gonna have to beat Goobs.
I don't know. He has those shoes he's wearing, definitely a level 99 energy.
Yeah, those were definitely godlike shoes.
Gotchi Emperor, good to see you, sir. Did you have a good week with us?
That's true. Thank you very much, Jesse, for the awesome time. No Future, thank you very much for the awesome time. I had a great time, man. That was a dope trip, man. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we need to do more of these in real life meetups. Like COVID seems to be like waning at this point, so international travel is no longer an issue. So I want to we got to meet up more of these people, because that was like I went to the Cool Cats party on Thursday and I was thoroughly disappointed. It didn't feel like a community event. It wasn't it was just an open bar in the Cooltopia space, and it felt like high school. It was so weird. I sat for 4 hours. Like I'm a known community member. No one came up and talked to me. Nothing. But at the Gotchi Gang party, it's like everybody was just talking with everybody else. It was it felt like family. We were all big brain folks here in the Gotchiverse, and we just all appreciated what has happened in the last year and a half, 2 years, and what's gonna happen in the next few years. So it's just this community is special.
One thing I'll say is I didn't know there was 40 people now. So if anybody else out there doesn't know that, yeah, 40 employees for Pixelcraft that I learned. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that blew my mind too when Jesse said it during I forgot which panel it was. It might have been the Chainlink panel.
Yeah,
Yep,
it was the Chainlink
we're
panel.
still hiring. What bear market?
Yeah, we're still hiring.
Well, if you
Yeah,
guys
I
need a Duff Man, I discovered that that's my role in the Gotchiverse at these events. I'm like a big brain Duff Man, just kind of the party guy. So I'm down for that.
Man. Oh yeah.
Oh, Gotchi.
You get the future, man.
I'll just respond a couple comments here about the GBM. So as far as bot protection, this is definitely it's something we will need to face. And as far as like whether or not we can completely get rid of all bots, it's not really possible because one, if even if we do it like we currently do, where there's like a signature required, anyone can set up basically what you call a headless browser, and they can use the UI just like a human will. So it's quite difficult to have like perfect anti-bot protection. We are talking with the GBM team though about they have an idea for basically like a kind of a batch bidding system. We were discussing it with them yesterday, and we still need to flesh it out more. But basically, instead of whoever gets to the bid first, it would basically become kind of a random batch. So if you had 10 people bidding on the same bidding at the to get the first bid in an auction, then it wouldn't be like the first one in. It would be probably take the bid, and then there'd probably be like a random number generated, and then that person would win, and the other ones would get to claim their bid back. So honestly, it's not ideal, but this is again why we don't really think that the majority of auctions or activity in the bazaar will be with GBM. It's going to be for very specific like niche items that need better price discovery, because honestly, there's not that much point to do a GBM if you already know the exact value of your item. You're just asking for you're gonna end up like earning less money than you would probably if you just put it for sale. So worth mentioning that.
Now there'd be like a floor on those, right? Like there'd be like if it doesn't reach a certain number, you can like it just gets pulled back.
So you can cancel it. There won't be a specific floor, but like I said earlier, if you cancel it, you will have to pay back the incentive to the final bidder, because that has to be paid by someone. So that would be the price of canceling if you're not really happy with the final price of the auction.
Okay, so definitely start off at whatever you want your bottom to be.
Well, you can't set a minimum either, because if you set a minimum, there's very little incentive for people to bid on your item from the beginning. That's kind of against the GBM philosophy. There's
So
no minimum bid.
it could actually have like a little bit of inherent risks that you could or you said you could cancel, but you'd still be losing a little bit if it didn't go high enough.
Mhm.
So that's a little
Yeah.
bit of a risk. So that's good to know.
Will the GBM auctions, like say if we auction off a wearable, I'm assuming the fee for the bazaar would still be in place, correct?
Yeah, there'll be a bazaar fee, and then I believe there's going to be a GBM fee, just that we pay to the team for GBM for helping us set it up and just for maintenance. I forget how much it is. I think it's 0.5 or 1% for that. So it will be a little bit more expensive than the bazaar.
Will the incentive that is won by the losers also have to pay that fee?
I believe that yes, that the bazaar. Well, actually, no, I'm not sure. I don't think it's on every bid. I think it's only on the final bid.
Okay,
But
so
I
that's
am.
that adds to the strategy a little bit, but
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like we're going to see, especially with the work thing, we should see an increase in volume in the bazaar because of all this. So that's going to be great.
Yeah, the word is gonna make it very interesting. That's gonna be super cool to have that. Finally, a credit card integration.
So if you purchase with a credit card, like how do you hold the asset then, since you're still technically not a crypto holder? Like if I go on the bazaar and buy like a wearable, where does that wearable live? In like a word
So
account or something?
what actually happens is we are actually writing a new bazaar function on the smart contract. Wirt is going to buy it on behalf of you, and then once the payment is processed, they will transfer it to your wallet address. The smart contract actually transfers it to you.
Okay, so like you would have to have a wallet set up when you go to make this purchase.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, otherwise I don't know where. Maybe Golden Cross, you've looked at the implementation a little bit more than me. I assume they have to have a wallet when they go to do this, right?
Yeah,
Or
they
does
do.
Word have like a platform?
No custodial. They should still, and they'll be asked to have like a MetaMask or set some sort of wallet address
Yeah.
up. They'll need to pick one. Yeah.
So I'm assuming with a credit card, it's going to be normal settlement period, so that lockup will be 2 to 5 days. If I guess in the U.S., right?
I
I don't
don't
know.
think so. No, I think it's going to be super fast, just like, point of sale, like point of sale purchase. It might be longer if you're doing, I think it's over $1,000. There's like a soft KYC that's required, but any purchase under $1,000 is like, it's just swipe the card, execute the transaction. Should be good.
Okay, I'm just thinking because I used to be a bar manager, and in New York, if you have a
Yeah.
card with a chip, you have to use the card with the chip, because if you don't use the card with the chip, the patron can go back to the credit card company on a swipe and say, "Hey, I have a card with a chip, and they didn't chip
Oh
it,"
yeah,
and automatically you get a refund. So we used
yeah.
to
You're
deal with this.
Yep,
So I'll
yep. I
be
know the callback, the kind of fraudulent
Chargeback.
refund.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
chargeback.
I'll be
So
able to I'll be
my
able to
understanding is
use
that
all of the everything. I'll be able to buy everything with my credit card. Ghost, Alchemica, wearables, anything inside of the game.
for the most part, I think so. But for futures question, yeah, I mean that's important. I'm pretty sure we do not cover the chargebacks. Wirt is willing to cover the chargebacks, so that is handled on their side, and I guess they have some. Obviously, they've thought through ways to make sure that doesn't become like a game breaking type of problem.
That's good to know that it won't, like, if it does happen, it doesn't affect us. It affects them. I mean, it's bad for work, but I'm sure they'll mitigate it somehow.
Yeah, yeah.
Very interesting concept. A new way to leverage yourself into the Gotchiverse.
Maybe
Yeah, you can
even
get
maybe even lowers the barrier to entry a little bit.
Yeah, it makes it easier. Now people can do it on credit like they can do the rest of the world. So it's just that much quicker.
Yeah, the part that appeals to me the most is just going straight to a specific activity. So maybe it's borrowing an Aavegotchi to jump in the Gotchiverse. If that could all be done with one swipe, that's definitely a much easier onboarding than previous.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's really, really dope.
I mean, I think that will really appeal to the non-crypto crowd that maybe, they're not willing to go through all the learning of the wallets and everything, so they can start the way they know with you know, classic fiat.
I do think we'll need to make a some kind of work onboarding, because you're still going to need at the very least the normie to be able to set up the basic MetaMask with a Polygon. So because I can see
True.
this really working well for
Yeah.
Gotchi lending,
True.
because then you just have your little wallet set up with maybe a Matic, and then you go in and rent a Gotchi, go buy land, rent some Gotchis, do whatever you do, and then you get out.
There is a minimum, right? It has to be like $1 for a minimum purchase. So I'm just thinking all those 0.1 Gotchi lendings probably won't be able to be paid with a credit card because it would just be under the minimum.
Or would
But
they be able
maybe,
to they'd be just able to purchase, enough stuff and then just go in there and use
yeah,
it because there's obviously going to have a wallet as well.
yeah,
And
they could
then,
purchase Ghost exactly.
yeah, and then I was going to say to No Future or somebody out there, maybe you could make a video on a security tutorial, kind of like new people coming into the Gotchiverse that are new to the crypto sphere. Maybe help them to understand, what to do with their wallet, how to secure it, what's the best way to do everything.
Well, the beauty of this, technically, if you think about it, is their wallet should only just, if they're buying stuff, they're not really crypto people. So their wallet will just be for whatever assets they're holding in the Gotchiverse. So if they're starting out and they're just, say, doing Gotchi
Yeah.
rentals, they don't really have to. They're not risking their bag so much because it's all coming through a
But
credit card.
but if somebody buys, a $5,000 gotchi or a $10,000 piece of land, they don't want to get that stolen. You know what I mean? And I was just thinking maybe like a hard wallet video just on security, somewhere to store your assets on the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I just think like when I think of a person coming in and buying $5,000 or $10,000, that's probably not the person doing it through a credit card because of the fees and all that. That bigger brain person ideally is is somewhat crypto fluent, so that they would go and be able to save money. If not, then
I've already thought of leveraging my credit card.
the
Big
DGen over here.
big brain.
Well, I like the idea that they said that the GBM auctions, we can decide the incentive because it's like, oh yeah, that legendary raffle, we're putting the DGen thing on and we're gonna drum up some some volume, you know.
Well, hey guys, good morning. I'm gonna run out to take care of some stuff today, so I can't stick around long. Hefe, I just wanted to ping you and remind you on the Guild Summit. I just dropped Notion or ZFi's Notion on the Guild directory, so just a good opportunity to let all the guilds know to start kind of paying attention.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
really cool.
We're looking forward to that. That's going to be exciting. So if you are a guild manager, guild leader, please come into GMI, grab the summit or role, and you'll get access to the channel. We'll get some dialogue going, but then we're going to have our actual summit, which will be it'll be an event. It'll be an event, and that'll be coming up pretty soon, early July. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, and just join the server for now, and we'll get things going. We'll be reaching out
Yeah,
as
very
well.
cool server in there. I just joined it the other day. Lots of good stuff going on in there.
Man, did you like our mascot with our news Gotchi, Big Brain Gotchi?
Yeah. Oh man, please post that. Let me find that. Oh, I laughed so hard when I saw that.
That was hilarious.
Mike Callium, did we purchase a gotcha yet?
No, we haven't. We got some DAO paralysis through analysis, so we've just been kind of chit-chatting about a whole bunch of directives. So no, nothing on that. We did grab our reasonable row, and we were able to do our in Gotchiverse art, so that worked out well. But no Gotchi mascot quite yet.
Have
Can
we
I share that
released
news piece?
Yeah.
Yeah, gladly.
Did we share the our estate? Have we shown pictures of that to the gotcha gang yet?
Oh man, I just walked by that.
Yeah, let me grab a screenshot and I'll drop it here in chat too.
I just got you.
Yeah, so we just we were as a DAO talking about like land and stuff. We were looking at spacious because we thought the prices were attractive and we wanted to use our funds and move some stuff. And then we got lucky. We noticed that I guess a whale was liquidating, and they had put 3 reasonable sized parcels adjacent on the road. I forget which district. I think it's District 12. No, maybe that's a rap lyric. Mike Callium.
Yeah, 12.
12. So yeah, 3 parcels adjacent in District 12, reasonable for 111 ghosts each. So we quickly decided, yeah, let's snap it up. And then you can see in the picture, there's been a little design work done to it. So now GMI officially has its starting initial headquarters in the Gotchiverse, and we plan on expanding and building outposts, and then maybe even expanding this estate as time goes on. So we're very excited for that, and we're looking forward to getting a gotchi, and I'm gonna throw it into my collection of gotchis that I'm managing, so we can start channeling and gaining that yield for GMI, so that we're ready for harvesters and also potentially for the GBM.
Hell
It's gonna be really good stuff. And then that right there will be the site of the Guild Summit as well. We'll be hosting that in server on the Gotchiverse.
It'll be an exciting place to be.
Speaking of guilds, I just wanted to go over this real quick with you guys. So I did make this proposal, something we've been working on for quite a bit here internally, going through and trying to think of all the different kind of stakeholder areas that and people and players and incentives that would make sense for this type of proposal. So just the if you haven't yet, definitely check out the console cartridge model it will. I think it's gonna definitely apply to a lot of the guilds, and the guilds will definitely want to like give some input on it. But essentially, you got two systems here. You got the console and the cartridge, and the console basically will create a cartridge every month, which then the console owner can give out to someone to join the Gotchiverse. And if you don't have the console or the cartridge, you can still join the game. You can still channel Alchemica. You can run around. You can hang out, but you won't be able to pick up spillover. You won't be able to channel at other people's parcels like for them, and you won't be able to empty reservoirs of other parcel owners. So kind of the just bring you into the Gotchi economy family, you need to have the cartridge. And there's an interesting dynamic here where if you actually craft craft installations or craft tiles, eventually over time you can actually turn your cartridge into a console and become like an OG by having that console. So lots of I don't want to spend too much time on it. I'm sure we'll go over it more tomorrow. But in time for tomorrow's DAO meeting, definitely everyone go and have a look at it, read through it. There's a lot of details in there, but I think it could be a very interesting proposal for the upcoming like the harvester farm release. Because what we really don't want to have the farm release with all the botting activity right that's going on right now. It's just gonna be a big downer. So this would ideally be implemented kind of right before the harvester release is deployed.
Yeah, I think solving the botting extracting issue, or at least addressing it a bit more head on before the harvester release makes sense. Seems like the right order of things to do.
And I mean, before the release of the Gotchiverse, we were talking about how these, us as OG players, guild leaders, or community ambassadors, we're almost like mentors to these new players coming in and wanting to know more about the Gotchiverse. And I think this game cartridge system makes this very cool. It's almost like an apprenticeship model if you want to take it, if you like to take it that far to provide some mentorship opportunities for players who are really interested in getting into this, and it's gamified a bit too, which Gotchi Gang always loves that.
That's a great point. That's something that over the week when we were on I think the Chainlink panel, we talked a bit about how do people get into crypto and what's the best ways to go about it. And even if not just for us, but especially for us, I think it's true. Like mentorship was the thing I mentioned personally as like it's really hard to just wander in without somebody you can trust and talk to, and so mentorship is definitely got to be part of it. There's no easy button. Like that's an important key. I see Dan, you're sharing the timeline here because Wagme asked a decent question about what
Yeah.
would this affect in terms of the farming release.
Yeah, we do have an internal kind of deadline for farming. We're really trying to aim as much as possible for mid-July. We don't really want to continue delaying it. I mean, we do have to realize that if spillover is not turned on for the farming release, it will definitely be a little bit. I feel like that would be the wrong choice. Like for alchemical channeling, I think it's fine to have spillover turned off because it's not money that is part of the parcel. It's coming from the ether. But for a parcel, that spillover is actually part of the Alchemica that's in the ground for the parcel. So it should be. I believe we should probably want to turn the spillover back on for the full harvester release. But if we do that without any sort of curation of the player base, who's able to come in and kind of tightening up that funnel a little bit, then I think we're gonna be back to where we were a couple of weeks ago. So I would definitely like this to be implemented in tandem with the farming release, right? Basically ready right before that. But we're gonna try and not to delay because of this feature.
Yep. We kind of got to be flexible with it, but What was I gonna say? Just yeah, totally lost my train of thought. I need coffee.
Yeah, I know how that feels, man. That's all right. It's the morning.
Yeah.
I do that like every 10 minutes, so I get it.
Well, you're coming up with a good solution. Well, it looks like a good solution to a complex problem. I know we've been kind of circling the drain around this type of mechanic, so it'd be interesting to read through this and see how everyone's feeding back.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was gonna say. Is it still has to pass, so make sure
it's
it
just
is
a proposal.
something. It's just a proposal. So
And I put a section in there called decisions to be made. I'll go over this real quick. I'll post it here first. So there's a couple, major decisions. Obviously, number one, should we implement the system? That would be a big decision. Number two, there is an option for someone who is not in the ecosystem, like you're not an OG, but if you want, you can purchase a console, and the price for that is fairly high. And the reason we made it so high is because we envision that the owning a console can actually give you a discount, which basically would be a lifetime discount on crafting. And so if you own a console, it'll definitely lower your cost over the long term. So it's an investment upfront that will pay for itself over time. And that kind of leads into the number 4 here, which is, should consoles give a discount for upgrading? And this is a bit a difficult decision, because currently upgrading, when you unequip the parcel, unequip the installation from your parcel, we're giving a burn refund. It's 50% of the installation upgrade price. But if we start introducing like discounts for upgrading, then we're definitely going to have an issue, because there wouldn't be enough funds going in to the Great Portal for in the future. If we had like kind of not really a bank run, but just like a portal, a vault, or like a parcel run, where a lot of people were unequipping their installations at the same time, there could be a potential possibility that there wouldn't be enough Alchemica in the Great Portal to support all that. And so that's one of the issues that I think Mikey has mentioned, which it's less of an issue right now, because there's other things to support the Alchemica, such as crafting of like the Aesthetica. But if we added this, if we gave consoles a discount for upgrading, it would just kind of exacerbate the issue. So this could be an interesting trade-off, where we could give consoles a discount, but we're going to have to remove the burn refund from the installations, which would be a pretty big decision. And then number 3, how many cartridges should be given out initially? Right now, we've run the numbers on like the current unique owners, and I believe there's about 5,000 in terms of Gotchi and Realm parcel owners. And so that would mean that there's about probably around 8 to 10,000 of the cartridges that would be given out. Maybe a little bit more, but it would be around that range. There'd be about 5,000 consoles, which would then generate around probably it'd be around 10,000, maybe a little bit higher. But we'd have to run the exact numbers on that. And then
that's
there's
great.
the issue of so obviously one thing we're going to discover here is that there's a lot of players that have a lot of Aavegotchis, yet they would only be receiving 3 cartridges for all those Aavegotchis or players that they have, which I think is where the guild becomes more important, because there's probably a lot of guilds that have players, they might own 1 Gotchi. So technically they're going to receive 3 cartridges, but they only have 1 Gotchi to use it on, so they would have 2 cartridges that would be available. Whereas if we do it on like a 1 Gotchi, 1 cartridge model, for example, like if you have 100 Gotchis, you would receive 100 cartridges. That's going to lead to it's one way to do it, but it seems a little bit less fair to do it that way, because you would basically be saying you have all these gotchis, you can then go out and find all these players. And the other guys that only have one gotchi are only going to have like one cartridge. So that's another decision that we would need to make. Mark says, has the snapshot for that already been taken? Well, yes. And that's part of the proposal here, which is we are kind of in a bear market. So I think it's a good time because we're not getting that many potential like new owners coming in. So I think it's a good time to do this snapshot. And so to prevent gaming of this system, for example, someone taking all their gotchis and sending them to 100 different wallets, we do need to take the snapshot as of when I posted this post. And if there are new legitimate owners who come into the game a little bit later, they can just contact us. And if we deem them like, okay, yeah, you're a legitimate player, you're not just trying to game the system, we can also give them a console. But it will be kind of on a application basis. And all of
Guys,
your
I got to
vaults,
run. Great conversation. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's conversation. Thank y'all.
and all the vault and gotchi owners will also count as well, as long as you have it in your wallet or in the vault.
And you said there's a way you can level up your cartridges to eventually become a console. Is that going to be something relevant to the player, I guess, coming in and they're renting the gotchi and then they're adding time to their cartridge? Or is that more for the patron for their, cartridges to be leveled up into consoles? I kind of missed that part.
Yes, there's actually a double benefit. So the cartridge would come with a certain limited amount of time, probably about like 60 hours or so. And the cartridge can be turned off and on with an on-chain transaction. So when the player spends Alchemica like crafting installations or crafting tiles, that Alchemica would actually be counted towards their charge on their cartridge. It would let them play longer. And by doing that, that would also increase the number of points that they have for that cartridge, which eventually will let them level up. So over time, if you accumulate enough points, which is in the doc, I have it at 7.5 million points, which is about 500,000 FUD worth, or that 1 point is basically 1 minute. So they would eventually be able to upgrade to their own console by doing that, by crafting and spending Alchemica. And then on the patron side, the console side, whenever someone crafts Alchemica, the patron or the console would also receive points for their console. And over time, the console can also level up. And this is where you could start getting a little bit of a higher discount on crafting or potentially upgrading.
Yeah, so there's some pretty big benefits to having that console. I could see, people being incentivized to really grind towards that, getting that eventually.
So I know there's going to be the ultimate, probably the most controversial part of this is going to be distribution. So that's why I expect we'll have plenty of a conversation on this. But if in general, I think we should decide: do we want to do this or not? Because that will decide how much dev resource we put towards it. And then the distribution is something that can be fairly easily changed. It's just an airdrop, so wouldn't be too bad. So I think we should decide as a community: do we want to have this system, or do we just want to continue with the current way we have, or is there another even better system? And then as far as distribution, we can do it as a one console equals 3 cartridges, or if we want, we could also do it as basically 1 gotchi equals 1 cartridge. But the issue we face with that is that there's 25,000 gotchis and 30,000 parcels, which would mean we'd start out with 55,000 cartridges, which would be a lot of cartridges to start out with. So that we should also be mindful of that.
It's really cool that we get to be part of this process as we're building out this, this mechanic that's I don't know if I've ever seen it before in other games. Not like this, but it's going to be I feel like it's innovative, and it's kind of cool that the community had a lot of input going into this. During our DAO meetings last couple weeks. So I think that's the part I'm most excited about being in like a DAO run game is it can be frustrating at times when there's a lot of debate around a hot topic. But it's also fun because you get to be a part of the game building experience. Whereas like being a gamer, it's like you're always used to just waiting for the final product and then everybody gets to complain about it, right? Nobody can do anything about it. And here it's kind of like there's a term, I guess Webb, I don't know if it was Webb or someone used to say like building the plane as it's flying, and this kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, I mean, we need to be as agile as possible in this. Like Web3 is a crazy environment, always changing. So we should try to be agile while also constructing like well thought out systems. What I like about this system is that it does, first of all, it allows us to make the current OG players kind of the funnels that new players can go through to kind of get educated and learn about the game. And also they're also being paid for being that funnel through the Alchemica that their players are going to be crafting. So I think that's a really nice kind of two-way back and forth mechanism. Because what we're trying to incentivize here, it's not that we just want to prevent people from playing, but we want to have a way that the access to the game can be slightly limited from where we are currently, which is like a completely open system where anyone, as long as you have 0.1 ghost, you can get in. And obviously we've kind of seen that tends towards botters and guys that can easily switch their account whenever they want.
Mm-hmm.
So with this system, the console owner will be kind of incentivized to find or curate or go out and actually do the work of like finding like quality players who want to actually join the game, invest a little bit, like get more knowledgeable about it, and they're going to be rewarded for playing the game as it's kind of meant to be played by crafting things. And if you, as a console owner, if you waste one of your cartridges on a guy who's just going to be a bot, well, you're not going to progress. You're going to see other console owners that are progressing faster than you because the guy that you invited got banned for being a bot, and then you're left without a cartridge for that guy for 30 days.
Yeah, I think ultimately this is about driving a sense of ownership beyond just the NFT you got, but like your participation in the entire Gotchiverse ecosystem. So it's like citizenship. You want to be basically entrusting who you can lend to and who you recruit to people that can basically be a good citizen, and that means not just extracting, but also contributing value, crafting, participating in whatever other options there are. So that this should launch alongside more and more robust options for people to participate, so they can keep their citizenship score kind of high. Maybe that's not the best metaphor, but you can get the idea. Is like right now we're an open bar and there's no bouncer, and that's not really sustainable. We can see it all across the P2E space. Like, I think there's something with the Facebook model. Some of you probably are old enough to remember when Facebook rolled out. It seemed counterintuitive, like it'd be more friction, but having a referral system was the perfect way for Facebook to roll out. Like certain universities made it in each wave. This isn't the same thing that Dan's describing, but it's along the same idea of solving this kind of problem of like intention and you know, what are you looking to do here in the Gotchiverse? And it does a bit. I think certain guilds will thrive with this because it's all about quality over quantity, and it will continue to scale towards quantity over time. But we got to start with a strong foundation.
Uh, in terms of cartridges, for me as like a manager of assets, so if I'm the one managing their assets and they're basically I'm the lending operator, but I lend the gotchis to myself. Would each I guess asset holder need to have an equal number of cartridges so that they would enable me to lend it to myself, or would I need all the cartridges as a lending operator to lend to myself? And then would my on-chain transactions with the Alchemica that I make my cut, say 15% of the channeling, or say 2% of emptying a harvester, would that affect their cartridges? Like, would me being a good citizen make them good citizens because I'm using their gotchis? I guess is the question. Or if I'm a crap citizen, does that affect them as well?
So if you have the console and you get the cartridge, you get airdropped like your cartridge, and you send that cartridge to a wallet, and then you play the game using that wallet, and you do whatever you do, you craft or you upgrade, then that wallet's cartridge will level up, and you as the console owner would also level up. This is why, incidentally, this is why we needed to add in the 5% discount on crafting for the console. Because if you think about it, if you want to craft something, you could basically transfer your funds to your cartridge wallet. You could craft it with that, and then you could get a 5% kickback to your own wallet, which would basically mean a discount of 5%. So not really to prevent it, but to equalize that, we added in the initial 5% discount on crafting if you own the console. I don't know if that answers your question.
Not really, but I do appreciate that. It's more so like as me as a lending operator, right? Gotchi Emperor is a good example. He has 30 gotchis. So I rent those 30 gotchis on a 1-day basis, but I never end the rental for me to channel every day for his gotchis. And then at claim end, he gets the 80%, I get 20%, or 85-15, depending on the deal. And from there, so he has 30 gotchis. He would be getting, say, 30 consoles. He'll have to give me 30 cartridges since I'm the one that's technically borrowing them, correct?
No, you'd only need one cartridge because you're only using one wallet, right?
Oh, I guess, yeah, it would be my one wallet controlling his 30
Yeah.
gotchas. Okay,
Yeah, as
yeah, so
long
then
as
that's a
that
lot easier.
wallet has it. Yeah. You just
Oh,
need one
okay.
cartridge.
I thought I was going to have 80 cartridges and manage all of them separately. If it's just one, so like each client can give me a single cartridge and I can manage all their assets with that one cartridge.
Yeah.
Okay, does that include land?
Does what include land?
The usage based on the cartridge. Like if I'm accessing their altars or building for them, like would that, like the rights to their land, would the cartridge affect that?
Yeah, as long as you have the cartridge, you could go on someone else's land and channel, or go on someone else's land and do the reservoir. What we're trying to avoid here is people with like legitimate asset owners that don't have they don't have a cartridge. We want them to still be able to play the game and like manage their own land, even if they haven't been able to get a cartridge. So that's why if you don't have a cartridge or a console, you can still join the game. You can build on your land. You do alchemical channeling on your land, and you can even empty your reservoir, but you can't go on someone else's land and do it. We're gonna disable that. And so Bandwagon says, can you borrow multiple gotchis if you have a cartridge? We are going to be rolling out a feature soon that's going to let the lending listing creator, whitelist, like set a number of gotchis that can be borrowed with a certain address. That will be coming out fairly soon. But yeah, I mean, you can borrow as many gotchis as you want if you have a cartridge. You can only play with one at the same time, though.
Would this add any additional like I guess the UI at the beginning when you sign in? Would you have to like confirm the cartridge, or would that just be confirmed when you connect your wallet?
Yeah, we'll be able to check if you have a cartridge or console in your wallet. So if you don't have one, we'll probably also tell you on the lending UI. We're gonna check the wallet and be like, hey, you don't have a cartridge. Just to let you know, here's what you can and can't do. In the Gotchiverse because you don't have one, or yes, you do have a cartridge, so you can do all of this. So lots to think about, Gotcha Gang. I mean, this has been ongoing conversation for a while. This is this is as far as our thinking. This is where we are right now. But definitely, if you have any thoughts, or especially on the distribution, this is a conversation. So definitely make your voice heard in the DAO forum.
Little topic switch here. The rugs are still available, right? We haven't been completely rugged in the rug tiles release.
Yeah, not yet. Can devs do something?
I just sent a link to it. It came out this week. I have to check because I've been, away from my computer for a couple days, so I need to go get myself a few rugs crafted up. And the deal with that, for anyone, I think we all know, but they're rugs in the truest sense. We do not know when they will no longer be craftable, right? We don't have an official end of crafting time for the rug.
Do we know how many
1 minute from now? Could be 1 week from now.
Do we know how many have been crafted so far?
According to OpenSea, there's 28 so far with 18 owners.
Oh, pretty rare.
Yeah.
Might scoop extra.
Well, if you think about how many parcels there's going to be in the Gotchiverse one day, I mean, these things are more rare, I think, than the actual wearable equivalents for some items.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. If you look at like a ratio, right?
Yeah.
It's actually extremely rare. So definitely looking forward to that. And the crafting price, let me scroll back up. Not too bad, especially today. You get mostly alpha. Alpha is the primary ingredient. Not too bad. Still need 2,000 kek though. What was that kek?
But you do need both halves, right? Because when you're minting this rug, you're minting half the rug. Is that right? Or is it that whole rug that I'm seeing right now that Aavegotchi put up there?
Yeah. I think it's the whole rug, right?
Okay.
Why would it be half? Yeah.
I guess I'd seen a tile that showed the middle section there, only half of it with half of the raffles. So I thought, well, you have to craft two of them to get a whole.
Oh, that's good to know. I don't know. It must just be a poor representation of. Yeah, you get the whole rug.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, they showed half before. I guess that was just a misunderstanding. But yeah, great.
It's the size of 2 golden tiles, right? That looks great, Aavegotchi. That's like with the what do you call that kind of pattern in the middle? We were talking about when we were designing these with Zbot.
I believe that's a mandala, right? That's a mandala.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, we even have the mandala emoji here. I see blinking. Amazing.
The
Oh, that's
mandala.
cool.
Yeah, I love them. But it'll be rugged at some random point, and that'll be that. And then we'll have to wait for the next potential rug. But this mythical rug, that's how it's going to work, right? The mythical is kind of tied to the price point, right? In terms of crafting energy, you have to put in how many Alchemica. So if we were to do like a common, the price would be very different. Or a godlike, I think the next one slated is the godlike. It's even a higher crafting price.
see there being
Oh,
lots of these types of craftable items, decorations coming. Like this is the beginning. And I remember you saying when the decorations raffle happened that we might see different ways of getting these aside from a raffle, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, crafting Wednesdays. That's a real thing now. So through the summer, we want every Wednesday either a new tile or a new decoration or some kind of installation. And one of those above options every Wednesday, something to craft. And it might not, there are particular Wednesdays, it might be more than one item, right? But new items coming out every Wednesday seems like something easy to remember for all of us. FaZe is ready to decorate and move his tiles and grass around.
I was gonna say it'll keep us busy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think from our perspective, that's something we probably can get knocked out here pretty soon, right, Dan? That's
Yeah, it's definitely I've seen them working on it. It's getting close.
nice.
At first they had to deal with the parcel kind of sync issues that were happening. I think those have pretty much been hammered out. If you're still getting those issues, just let me know. And then now that that's pretty much settled, they can focus more on unequipping and moving. I think moving stuff around is going to be coming a little bit later because we don't have the smart contract ready for that. But you will be able to at least unequip and then equip it back where you want.
Man, I just cruised by this GMI estate, just running around the Gotchiverse, and it looks really awesome. We need to get some decorations on here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have some decorations. I'll send something to the Gnosis safe, I guess.
What's the 3-word address for like one of the parcels on the estate? Does anybody know? That would be a cool way if
I
we
don't
could
know
jump
off the
straight
top
into
of my
one.
head. Yeah, I can find out, but I am at 63 South, 16.1 East.
Okay.
Standing on the M.
Yeah, right now the HUD and the UI doesn't really emphasize the 3-word addresses, but I can imagine at some point it'll be nice. You could like punch in the 3 words
Yeah, that's coming soon as well.
I use the 3-word addresses when I'm channeling. I have a spreadsheet with Gotchi token number and then the 3-word name, so it's easier to find them in the list.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite features. It's such a cool way to do addresses.
Someone in the forum had a great idea that they had proposed for Gotchi mannequin. So it would be an item you can put on your parcel that's like a mannequin of a Gotchi, and you can dress it up with your wearables and have your wearables kind of displayed out on your parcel, however you want to arrange them. I thought that was really cool. It'd be cool to see that.
With what do you mean, like your personal wearables?
Yeah, like your wearables in your inventory could be equipped on this mannequin, and then people walking by on your parcel would see this Gotchi mannequin with all your wearables on it.
Like a scarecrow.
Yeah. I could see it being really interesting if we ever do like I'm sure one day we'll do some like wearable rentals, and to be able to display your rentables on your parcel. I think that would be pretty cool, although probably not needed right now.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to have NFT display, but that would be a little bit different, I guess, from what you're saying. Maybe this would be more like a Gotchi themed NFT display.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
With the NFT display, will it only be limited to
Oh, did anyone catch that? Was that me?
He's a bot.
So
That was him. Bot
I'm,
scout.
I'm in the middle, so it's very loud.
I think he was probably saying, was it limited to Aavegotchi, or will we have all sorts of NFTs? Probably at the beginning, just because we don't want to really deal with the huge hassle of policing like NSFW content. We're probably going to have it mainly for like the Aavegotchi content and also some other things that we're working on. But you'll more about those soon. For Polygon Network, okay. So yeah, it'll mainly be anything in the bazaar will be the first version of it.
I love the bazaar. That's all I'm going to say. I'm also sharing a picture from the event. Did everybody see this? Polygon showed up in force all week in New York. This is their car. I think Sandeep must have rolled up in it. It's loading very slowly. Hey, Vanilladelphia in the room. It was so good to meet you this week. The man who designed the beer helmet wearable in the house. Oh, they did the car load. You can see the Polygon.
That's nice. Is that a Bentley? What is that?
I think
Yeah, it's a Bentley. That's cool.
Holy crap.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
An Aavegotchi
They-
Bentley SUV.
That was parked right up front at the NFT NYC main site, and then they had the Polygon Hub, which No Futuristic helped us get to, which was like, I think 2-3 miles away, but in New York time, that's you got to use the train
Oh, wow.
or take an Uber. So he helped us navigate the train system, the subway, and we got there in like 15 minutes. And that venue was also pretty amazing, but that was all things Polygon. It was good to meet a lot of the new Polygon team. They're hiring all the time too. So I think they said something like there's over 300, 400 people on staff between Polygon and Polygon Studios, something like that. So they're growing. We're growing with them, and it's really good now. We're closer with them than ever. Like a ton of good contacts there now. Not that there weren't before, but a lot of the U.S. based ones, I guess I should say.
Did you guys get a lot of attention from other DAOs? Because I feel like the Gotchiverse and everything we're doing here would be really attractive to DAOs that maybe aren't fully into gaming yet, but might be looking at it as a social experience, to add to their whatever they're doing already.
Yeah, I feel like the guilds were the closest. Like a guild can be a kind of DAO, right? And so there were guilds and guild platforms that were very interested to talk to us. A lot of the best follow-ups actually are different tools and platforms that can either their own self-contained guild, or it's like a platform for guilds to use, or just for power users. In particular, one of them was talking about kind of the no futuristic use case. Like you've got your own kind of stable of Aavegotchis, and how could you better manage it? So the interest was more from that side, like governance of the gaming side and the guild, but real pure like DAOs or investment DAOs or that kind of thing, few and far between. Like I said, most of the panels and other speakers I was on stage with, they were coming up to me afterwards and or in the middle of the speech being like, "Oh, I wish we had a DAO," or "We want to have a DAO," but nothing serious. Like really, we were the only Web3 DAO building a game there. We still are. I feel like we're still way ahead on that front. So a lot of jaws dropping, a lot of people interested in the bonding curve, and a lot of people interested in XP for Aavegotchis, and really liking some of these specific things we do that we kind of take for granted, but for other people it's quite shocking and inspiring.
I was just gonna say it must be really interesting, for you guys to see everyone's reactions from these guys who maybe have been in the crypto space as long as you have or longer, and then you start rattling off the bonding curve and the DAO and decentralized infrastructure around gaming. I bet that got a lot of attention from people that didn't even realize this stuff existed. I know I've been in spaces where people have been talking about a dynamic NFT that you could do things with, and it's like, oh yeah, that's an Aavegotchi. So, and they're still wondering if this exists. So I think, yeah, the
Yeah,
reactions must have been kind of funny actually for you guys.
yeah, it was a lot of surprise, and I think they didn't realize this already exists. I was like, yeah, we're a DAO that's rallied together around a common cause of building a Aavegotchi ecosystem, and not just limited to the Gotchiverse, but also all the other games and analytics and tools that can be built with this open source. So I was directing people to go to the tools page, and shout outs to the vault, and people like Liquidator's Chase. I think I either named Liquidator's Chase as an upcoming game, or what's the other big one? There's a number
Gotchi
of
miners.
Gotchi miners. Yeah, I think it was actually Liquidator's Chase I did mention. I'm not sure now, but the point was, this is an open protocol that everyone's building on, and I was definitely sending the invitation out to indie game devs, anyone who wants to experiment with Solidity. That's the kind of crowd we attract at our DAO. So, yeah, definitely people were enjoying that thought process and going down. Like, you could see the wheels turning. Like, huh, a Web3 game built by Web3. That kind of makes too much sense. So it was pretty cool in that way. Gotchi Heroes, is that another one that's under development? It sounds like a game I want to play.
Yeah, Gotchi Heroes, that's something that, they teased about it like 6 months ago. But I've also seen another very similar game to what they're working on, and I wonder if Gotchi Heroes is like a reskinned version of that game, but with Aavegotchi assets.
Could be. Oh, we had a joke on the. Oh yeah, there it is. All right, Gotchi Heroes link. I thought I was already in there. I'm gonna join. The Chainlink panel, I remember particularly, we're all joking around about like Chainlink VRF applications, and somebody mentioned like a Web2, like a traditional game, and how it could have benefited from using Chainlink VRF. And I remember shouting out Mario Kart, and I think it's a good illustration of like how VRF would work. If you've ever played Mario Kart, like if you fall back to 7th or 8th place, the next question block you hit is like probably going to give you a star power. Like the algorithm is there to help you when you fall behind in the race. And I was like, yeah, if you had Chainlink VRF, there'd be no mercy. I want to play that Mario Kart. Yeah, you always get the bullet bill if you're in 8th place. So they need VRF. There it is, Zbot. That would be a fun way to play Gotchi Kart. Instead of question box, you just hit Chainlink blocks. Oh my god.
Those carts I've thought about, could they become real assets that we could use? Like, let's say there's a part of the Gotchiverse that is just like a road like this, but there's a gate or something, you got to interact with it to get in to the race. Like, is there ways to, actually have games inside of the Gotchiverse? I think this kart racing thing would be cool if we just had a little track area in the Gotchiverse, like the Gotchi race kart track, and we could go there, maybe spend a little bit of Alchemica or something, and then go rent a cart and then go race around. Like, that would be really fun.
I like the idea. I'd have to. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure we can do transportation. It just hasn't been like we're so focused on the farm release, but get other ways to get around the Gotchiverse is something we should all talk about. And like, do you want teleporting? Do you want go karts? Parachutes. You want to airdrop in? Like, there's so many ways to go about it. But it should solve like whatever the biggest problems are right now, the pain point. Like, kind of two schools of thought. You can gamify it where you have to craft things in order to have a better experience in travel. The other one is just everybody gets something super convenient, like crypto voxels. You just go to any parcel, doesn't matter who owns it, and you just teleport there anytime. it's not very gamified, and they're not really trying to be a game. So I don't know if that's the best way, but that's kind of the other school of thought. It's just like type in the 3 words and you're there.
It does make it a little bit harder. Like if we want to begin having more of like a social, making your parcel kind of like a social area, it does make it a little bit harder for people to actually just drop in and be right there and see everything that you have on your parcel. So there is definitely an argument for making like an airdrop version where you can just drop in. But then it kind of becomes anyone could show up at your parcel whenever you're getting ready to channel Alchemica. Probably wouldn't be ideal either.
Yeah, if you knew they're about to channel, and then you get like 100 gotchis like come drop
Yeah.
parachuting down. Let's do this. Yeah, there's also that way where you could have a craftable. So if you want to host something on your parcel, you at least have the option to be found. You can craft a temporary portal. So like you're going to host a meetup on your parcel, and you could do like a 3-day or a 5-day or a 1-day temporary portal door, and then you could like, basically be a host. So people would find your parcel would be on the list of like open portals on the main menu. Like, oh, Hefe is hosting an event today at GMI, and we can click in and head there for a short amount of time. I kind of like that idea too, but
Yeah, that's
there's
cool.
just a lot.
There's a lot.
Yeah. The one with that is it's kind of like a double dip. It's how to get there, and you also raise awareness for whatever you're doing. Like if you could say like, there's this event happening here today. There's a garage sale at Jesse's parcel or something like that.
And then you have all the gotchi mannequins on your lawn with all your wearables displayed out.
Yeah.
A little garage sale.
I would love a display, like installation, not like necessarily like a lodge, but a like a sign. So I could put up, "Hey, this is no features parcel," or something like that. Some way to do it where we don't, where you could censor it just in case people get silly.
Yeah, what was it? A few days last week we were talking on here maybe about for sale signs, and I think on the trip we were talking about too, like for sale signs, but also just like who owns it. Like, if you could just have the wallet, or you could input a name and just say this is welcome to No Futuristics. That would be very nice.
Yeah,
But
for
not just for sale signs. There should also, if we do that one, we got to also have one that says not for sale, because it'd be really depressing to see like when you go to a neighborhood, everything's for sale. That's not good. I want to also be able to like signal that I've got diamond hands. Like,
Yeah.
That's when we see the first Gotchiverse redevelopment groups like that. Like those business improvement districts. We'll have those in the Gotchiverse where bigger benefactors come in and clean up the rowdier parts of town.
Yeah, I can't wait till we have those distinctions, right? Like that's gonna happen when you have people in certain districts maybe have these higher end decorations over time accumulating. Like, I look where Coder Dan's Spacious is located, and his neighbors are all decked out with godlike items, and there's some that have like mythical stuff, and everybody's kind of done a little something to their parcel. That area looks vastly different than my area where I have my Spacious in District 42, and it's like my parcel is the only one that's like done out. I don't have anything crazy, but it stands out because the surrounding parcels have nothing on them. So it's going to be interesting to see these distinctions. Yeah, I believe, what is that? D28 is the Pixelcraft Square, isn't it?
I think so. It's 27 or 28.
I think it's
Yeah.
27.
Yeah, that's going to be...
Yeah, it's
I'm
27.
Okay, yeah. I'm excited to see what you guys are building up over there. Or when that does launch.
Oh, okay. They're in the chat talking about 28 because that's Gotchi Mafia. You gotta watch out. Mafia. Goobs was cluing me into the Gotchi Mafia a bit over the week. I came away from the week learning a lot more about Gotchi Mafia. That's probably my biggest alpha of the whole week, actually. Other projects just weren't impressing me much. Gotchi Mafia probably my number one alpha of the week.
They're the place to hang out, right? For Gotchi Poker. I know they have those poker nights that they do. Those sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I wasn't so.
I'll also say another big piece of alpha, the funny alpha, is that like Big Flex is truly a big person. Like I can see why he's Big Flex. It makes perfect sense if you see him in the pictures.
I thought it was maybe ironic. It's not ironic at all. Big Flex is Big Flex.
Like if he was tiny, that would be ironic, but he's not. He's Big Flex.
Yep. Yeah, he was great. Shout out to Big Flex. I saw him in the chat here a minute ago. Is holding it down. Super reliable. Gotcha gang through and through. It was good times.
Did they share the video that me, Zbot, Gravy, and well, it wasn't Gravy, it was Crypto Rich and Big Flex did in Times Square? That 360 video that we did that went on social media?
Yeah, well, we kept saying it should. I don't know. I haven't seen it since somebody showed me on their phone. You guys should share that. That thing was really sweet. They had some like installation in the middle of Times Square. You could do like a really cool 360 camera thing. I didn't go there. Was it like you stand in the middle and there's like cameras on all sides of you, or is it one camera?
It was like a circular platform and a camera with like a ring light on like an arm that rotated around us. So like swang around and then slow down, swang around. So pretty cool.
Yeah, if we get, I think Rich has the video that should definitely be shared.
That video was why we were a little late to the Polygon Studio event and a little train congestion. But yeah, definitely waiting for that video in Times Square.
A shout out to Big Flex. Definitely a really nice guy. Same with Rich. Really cool people. Really great time.
Also, Young Abstract. He was there for a few days. It was a lot of fun meeting up with him. And then we just met so many people. Ernani from Orium Guild. I got to meet with him. We're probably going to meet up again before I leave. And then who else am I thinking? Miguel Sanchez was there. There were other, like, I'm trying to remember all the people at the party because there were so many people. But a ton of Gotchi gang. And, like, even walking around in the conference, I was surprised, like, walking around with the hat, people recognizing me, but other people just being like, oh, I've heard of this. Tell me about it. And it's like, oh, yeah, you need to check this out. Like, the whole DeFi, while the whole market's crapping, this is kind of just chugging along, So you might want that flight to safety. This is the safety.
Yeah, and Malo here mentioning anyone coming to ETHCC, that's in Paris, right? And saw some stuff on Twitter. I think there might be a Gotchi meetup organically forming out there. So Malo, you should get in touch with Moon. I think Mark Zeller, he's going to be there.
Yeah,
To be there.
probably Let's Go Bankless too. I haven't confirmed with him, but
Oh,
he probably will be as well, I would say.
makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
When does that happen?
Like July, mid-July, right?
I think
July
so.
19th, I think.
Hey, international travel's getting easier, no futuristic. You get out there.
Yeah, I just got to figure out if I can get a passport in that amount of time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, expedited passport's like, what, 6 weeks?
I have no idea. It'd probably be pretty easy for France. Oh, Zombo saying Cometh team will be there. That makes sense. I think they're mostly based there. I'm sure GBM will be well represented. I mean, they came all the way over to New York. A lot of them are in France.
Yeah.
It was great meeting Eduardo from GBM. Those guys, we had a great time together.
Is
And I think they're gonna have a big rest of year. Like I feel like, I mean, we were vouching for them, and they had meetings lined up every day. Like, especially on Polygon now. Like, if other people are not paying attention to GBM, I don't know what they're doing. It was right in front of them.
Is GBM being used on other projects as well, or is Aavegotchi kind of like their flagship implementation?
We're by
We
far
definitely
their.
are their flagship, yeah.
Hmm.
But they're definitely getting more. They have a lot of BD going on, and they're also working on their own like big platform. Yeah, mynft.com. But they're also doing like BD with a lot of other NFT projects, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I would be shocked if we don't start seeing GBM pop up more, especially on Polygon. So yeah, definitely happy for those guys, and we'll be the first to have the soundest understanding of it. You know, be like, yeah, I'll go join that GBM auction at least for the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to Eduardo about it because I want to look into other GBM auctions, but at the time, this is I think during Land Sale 1. At the time, it's mostly Ethereum, so I was like, I don't want to take that risk. But if they come to Polygon, I'm definitely going to be watching auctions all day.
Yeah, but by far, I think the only big announcement that they had was at our party with Bazaar going live with GBM. I mean, that's where their effort has been in a big way too. They've been working super close with our team to make that a reality. So we're super excited for that.
You know, just think of the implications. We're in a down market now, so like it's a good way to start this and kind of figure out the bugs. But once we get back to that next bull cycle, that GBM, imagine a GBM market that's running 24/7 because our bazaar is a 24/7 market anyway, especially when it's like kind of busy. That's gonna be that'll be an interesting kind of dynamic there, and just like the degen nature of it. People jumping in with credit cards, it's gonna get crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It all kind of it's like money Legos, right? It all adds up to a sum greater than its parts. So you can have the fiat on ramp, the GPM auction. I just threw out one of my favorite old school bid to earn auction memes here for anybody who hasn't seen it. It has a big bag. I think it's from the first land sale. Wearing it looks like The Rock is wearing Z-Bot's glasses. Those are like when I see those now, they're not gangster glasses. They're just Z-Bot. Z-Bot has real life gangster glasses.
Does he really? You actually? Oh, he's got those in real life.
Yeah, he's got them all over New York.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those one of ones are epic. I have that one of one polo shirt that I got from the Chainlink party with the Gotchi on it. It's like, oh, I'm gonna wear that to work every day when I go to channel.
Besides clothing, what is one thing you guys would love to see as a Gotchi merch?
Chess set.
You read? Yeah, we were talking about that over the week. You got to. Yeah, we were kind of debating like what would be the pawns versus the bishop and rook. Oh my gosh.
I don't even like chess. I don't like playing chess. I just want a chess set because that's just like it's it denotes class. It's Gotchi class.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Z-Bot wants the rugs. I could totally see some in real life rugs. Oh my god, that'd be the classiest.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, mythical rug with a chess set on top of it.
Oh yeah,
I would love
I'm
that
in.
godlike rug because I don't think I'm gonna be able to buy it in the Gotchiverse, but if I can get it in real life, that would be really dope.
Oh my gosh.
The stuffed
Yeah, I
Gotchi,
mean-
I love that. That was awesome.
Yeah, plush
You would
guy.
make so much money from that. Like at the Cool Cats event, they had like this thing where you can earn points playing these games and you get free merch, but you can also buy the merch with credit cards. I spent $600 buying one of everything in the store. So if like we had any, like I was telling Jesse, if we had any kind of merch up for sale, I would be going home with more debt because I would buy everything. And I'm sure that a lot of OG and like, Gotchi lovers out there would want any and everything that they can collect because it's like, this is all we're into this. These are collectibles and we love all this stuff. So I definitely would buy anything.
Monopoly would be interesting. We definitely have enough lore and Gotchiverse sites. You could actually do a whole Monopoly board. There's the plush. I was actually sorry. I was like, while you were talking to Future, I was scrolling through my phone trying to find pictures of the plush. But Vanilla
On
Delphi.
Gotchi, a Gotchi chess set. So let me know when you got that. I'll purchase it.
Yeah.
Gotchi cards,
Oh,
yeah,
there's
that'd be cool.
the Mafia playing cards. Nice.
Can I have the samurai godlike as one of my kings
That's awesome.
or emperor, I should say?
Well, they look great.
See, the shirt that we had, the white shirt with the Gotchi, the animation of it being pet, like that as a poster would be cool. Like with some kind of cool, like, I don't know, like a caption under it that's like says something that kind of fits well with that, like, being pet moment.
Oh yeah, you mean where the arms are up and the Gotchi's really happy? That animation's good.
I know, who is it? I think it's 3D Slaps is working on real like Aavegotchi 3D printed models of gotchis, but you can slip your hardware wallet in it, so it's like a case for your hardware wallet. So that's going to be really interesting. I hope he's still iterating on that, but
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
I mean, the dream also would be if you made some kind of device like an alarm clock that somehow I can put Ethernet or Wi-Fi to that links up to the blockchain, and that at the time of petting, the Gotchi says something, I can program it or something that I can like tap it like an alarm clock, and it's like now we're
Yeah.
interacting in the real world.
I like that.
That's
Pet
good.
me,
yeah.
master.
Calling from the ether, from the other realm.
Whereas I gotta get off now. Past almost midnight for me. But keep it going here. Great hangout like always. Hope you guys got a nice bag of Alchemica.
Have a good one.
Drop,
Oh yes.
let's see it. Drop your bag in the chat here. There you go. Nice. Seiko's almost got a full bag.
Not
Very
a bad,
nice, sir.
not a bad little hangout.
Nice.
So the
Alright, I'm gonna
spillover,
jump
how much
off.
longer does that continue?
I think
Or is
that
it-
it should be. It'll stop in about 2 minutes.
All right.
Collect your last pieces. I got about 100. Umami, you did great. 181.
Nice.
Dang. I've got to start multitasking. I can't play and chit chat with you
Yeah.
guys at the same time. I'm gonna have to learn how.
Yeah. I probably did about 150, but I played with 2 different gotchis, so I can't count quickly.
Well, if you stay in the Gotchiverse, because the spillover in the Gotchiverse is so vast, there's going to be Alchemica lying around for probably hours before everybody picks it up. So, good hunting.
That's true.
Yep.
Good point. It's still out there.
There's still 12,000 pieces on the map right now.
Is that right? Okay.
I mean, I've still
No.
found some the next day sometimes, just walking around by my parcel being like, hey, this is from like yesterday. But whatever. I'll take it.
That's amazing. Cool. Well, I think I will also hop off here. Start the day. I got a lot of notes and things to catch up on after the busy week. Kind of broke up the workflow, but it was for good reason. So I was telling Futuristic and Emperor and everybody, like, I'll just if you guys got any useful leads or notes, we get it down on paper, then we can all follow up on some pretty good conversations that we had this past week. I think there's a lot of opportunity out there. There's still a lot of builders. They may not be building as a DAO, or they might. It's more like the ones I'm interested in are building like specific programs that can be integrated or benefit Aavegotchi guilds or whoever it may be. So plenty of those to follow up on. Luckily, very happy about that.
Yeah, adding gameplay as well. Like big discussion we were having. But yeah, it was a great time with you guys out there. Z-Bot, everybody was amazing. Gravy was amazing. Big flex. Everybody. Just a great time all the way around. Thank you guys.
Yeah, man. Big love. Great meeting y'all. And yeah, this was a nice hangout. We got a lot done. We'll have to keep plugging through the DAO Discord, that conversation, that thread about cartridges. I think we're on to something. I mean, when done well, it could be really, really powerful for adoption and kind of create some FOMO and also some curation at the same time.
but we got to make sure it fits and works with the model we already have. That transition can't be too abrupt, especially for the guilds. So let's have that conversation, and we'll have that solved in no time, I'm sure.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And actually, for those of you who want to join in on that discussion, we are having a DAO hangout tomorrow, which is specifically related to all the DAO topics, anything that's on Snapshot, whatever's been going on in the forums. We tend to go through most of that during the hangout tomorrow at 2 p.m. UTC, so the same time as today, same place right here. We'll be hanging out with Coder Dan and probably talking about these cartridges and consoles a lot more. So definitely join us tomorrow. It should be exciting. It should be fun. And then, of course, Gotchi Space on Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, for all our friends who want to hang out with us and continue the conversation there. I don't have anything else this week, but do you guys have anything else you want to announce here? I think we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon, but if you guys have any announcements you want to make.
Definitely.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Everybody, jump into the GMI server for the Guild Summit announcements coming up, especially if you are a part of a guild manager. But we're also going to be launching a new GMI show. I think we're going with the title Easy Threezy, and it's going to be me, Zombie Shepherd, with Zounzy and 0xZfi. So that's going to be a new GMI Gotchi show coming out. We're going to be live recording Tuesday at 11 p.m. UTC in the GMI server.
Very exciting. I'm looking forward to that first episode with you guys.
Cool. Thanks. And yeah, I'll see everybody tomorrow for the DAO call.
No Future, you got anything, man?
No, just remember to call me when we get off so we can figure out this merch stuff.
Right. Yes. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Take it easy, everyone.
Take it easy.
Thanks. Have a good weekend.
Just like to say, I've never been more bullish after being out in New York on Aavegotchi, and yeah, that's my alpha.
Right on. Later, friends. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend. We'll see you around. Have a good week next week. And, keep it real. Gotcha gang.
Gotchi gang.
Gotchi gang.